Hey, if you're ready to transform your life and unlock your true potential, hit that subscribe button and join our journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. Let's dive in. I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders years ago and screamed, "You're wasting your life!" I was 27, stuck in a dead-end job, scrolling through my phone for 8 hours a day, and feeling like my dreams were slipping through my fingers like sand. My mornings were a blur of hitting snooze, chugging coffee, and rushing out the door, already exhausted before the day began. That was me, until I stumbled across The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. One line hit me like a freight train. Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. It was a gut punch. I realized I wasn't growing. I was rotting. That book didn't just change my mornings, it rewired my entire mindset, pulling me out of a pit I didn't even know I was in. Let me take you back to 2022. I was living in a cramped apartment, surrounded by empty takeout containers and a phone that felt glued to my hand. My social media feed was a highlight reel of everyone else's perfect lives. Friends landing dream jobs, traveling to Bali, getting married, while I was binge-watching Netflix feeling like a failure. I'd wake up at 10 a.m., groggy, with zero energy to chase my goals. My bank account was a joke, $200 in savings after paying rent. I wanted to start a side hustle, write a book, maybe even get in shape, but every day felt like a repeat of the last. I was stuck in a cycle of procrastination, self-doubt, and excuses. Sound familiar? Then came the breaking point. My best friend, Sarah, invited me to her engagement party. I showed up, forced a smile, and realized I hadn't seen her in months because I'd been too busy scrolling Instagram. That night, I overheard someone whisper, "He's got so much potential, but he's just stuck." It stung because it was true. I went home, looked in the mirror, and barely recognized the guy staring back. I was 27, but I felt like I was running out of time. That's when I picked up The Miracle Morning from a dusty bookshelf, a gift from my mom I'd ignored for years. Elrod's words cut deep. You are where you are because of who you were, but where you go depends entirely on who you choose to be. I'd been choosing to be a victim of my own habits. I was choosing late nights, mindless scrolling, and chaotic mornings. But that night, I decided to choose differently. I started small, waking up at 6 a.m. the next day. Painful, yes, but I forced myself out of bed. I followed Elrod's Savers method. Silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. The first morning was awkward. I sat in silence, feeling like an idiot, mumbling affirmations like, "I am capable of greatness." But something shifted. For the first time in years, I felt in control. The early days were brutal. My body screamed for sleep, and my mind begged for the comfort of my old routine. But I kept going. By week 2, I was journaling my goals, something I hadn't done since college. I wrote, "I want to earn $10,000 from freelancing this year." It felt like a pipe dream, but putting it on paper made it real. I started exercising. Nothing crazy, just 15 minutes of push-ups and jumping jacks. I read a chapter of a self-help book each morning, replacing TikTok with ideas that actually made me think. Slowly, I wasn't just waking up earlier. I was waking up to my life. Here's the raw truth. I'd been sleepwalking through my 20s, addicted to distractions and excuses. The Miracle Morning wasn't just about mornings. It was about taking ownership of my time, my mind, and my future. Elrod says, when you change the way you wake up in the morning, you can change the way you live your life. And he was right. By month 3, I'd cut my screen time from 8 hours to 3. I landed my first freelance client, earning $500 for a project I'd have never had the confidence to pitch before. I started running, lost 15 pounds, and felt energy I hadn't had since I was a teenager. My mornings became sacred, a time to build the person I wanted to be, not the person I'd settled for. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were days I wanted to quit, when the alarm blared at 5:30 a.m. and I'd curse Elrod's name. There were moments I doubted myself, wondering if I was delusional for thinking I could change. Yet every time I stuck to the routine, I proved to myself I was capable of more. That's what the Miracle Morning taught me. Consistency isn't sexy, but it's powerful. It's not about one perfect morning, it's about showing up for yourself day after day, even when it sucks. This isn't just my story. It's a wake-up call for anyone who feels stuck, like life is passing them by. Maybe you're scrolling too much, procrastinating on your dreams, or waking up each day feeling like you're already behind. I've been there. And I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be that way. The question is, are you ready to take back your mornings and your life? So, there I was, 3 months into the miracle morning, no longer the guy who'd hit snooze 5 times and doom scroll until noon. I'd clawed my way out of a mental fog, but I wasn't some overnight success story. I was still figuring it out, still fighting the urge to slip back into old habits. The difference? I had a system now, one that didn't just pull me out of bed but pushed me toward a life I didn't think was possible. Hal Elrod's words stuck with me. Your entire life changes the day you decide you're worth investing in. That hit hard. I wasn't just changing my mornings. I was betting on myself. And if I could do it, someone who once thought 8 a.m. was early, you can too. Let me break down exactly how I turned my mornings into a launch pad for a better life, using steps so simple you'll wonder why you haven't tried them yet. First, let's talk about silence. Step 1 of Elrod's Savers Method. I used to think meditation was for hippies or tech bros with too much time, but I gave it a shot, sitting cross-legged on my floor for 5 minutes, focusing on my breath. It felt pointless at first, like I was just waiting for a timer to ding. But by week 2, I noticed something. My mind wasn't racing as much. I wasn't obsessing over yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's to-do list. Elrod says, silence is one of the best ways to immediately reduce stress while increasing your self-awareness. He's not wrong. Those 5 minutes became my anchor, grounding me before the chaos of the day. Try it. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and let your thoughts float by. No candles or chanting required, just you and your breath. You and... Next up, affirmations. I'll be honest. I cringed at first. Standing in front of a mirror saying, I am confident, capable, and destined for success, felt like I was auditioning for a bad self-help infomercial. But I stuck with it, writing down specific affirmations tied to my goals. I will land 3 freelance clients this month. I will run a 5K without stopping. Elrod's advice? Make affirmations specific, actionable, and emotional. Instead of vague fluff like, I'm awesome, I wrote, I'm building a $10,000 side hustle because I deserve financial freedom. Saying it daily rewired my brain. I stopped doubting myself and started believing I could actually pull it off. Write down one goal you're scared to chase, turn it into a sentence, and say it out loud every morning. It's awkward, but it works. Visualization was trickier. Elrod suggests picturing your goals as if they're already real. I'd close my eyes and imagine pitching a client, seeing their nod of approval, or crossing the finish line of a 5K, sweat dripping, crowd cheering. At first, my mind wandered, straight to my grocery list or a random TikTok. But over time, I got better at it. I'd spend 5 minutes seeing myself living the life I wanted, working from a coffee shop, traveling, debt-free. Elrod says, what you visualize, you materialize. It's not magic, it's focus. By seeing my goals clearly, I started making decisions that aligned with them, like saying no to late-night scrolling so I could wake up fresh. Exercise was non-negotiable. I started with 15 minutes of bodyweight workouts, push-ups, squats, and jumping jacks in my tiny living room. I was out of shape, gasping after 2 minutes, but it woke me up better than any coffee. Elrod's take? Morning exercise doesn't just energize your body, it energizes your mind. I tracked my progress. In month 1, I could barely do 10 push-ups. By month 3, I was hitting 50. That physical win spilled over into my confidence. You don't need a gym. Start with a walk, yoga, or dancing to your favorite song. Just move for 10 minutes. Your body and brain will thank you. Reading and scribing, journaling, in normal speak, sealed the deal. I read a chapter of a book each morning, swapping Instagram for Atomic Habits or the 5 a.m. Club. Elrod's rule. Read something that inspires growth. One line from the Miracle Morning stuck with me. Your life is a reflection of the books you read and the people you surround yourself with. So, I fed my mind ideas that pushed me forward. Journaling was even more powerful. I'd write 1 page, what I was grateful for, what I wanted to achieve, what I was scared of. It was like therapy without the $100 bill. I wrote about failing to land a client and realized I wasn't failing. I was learning. Start small. Read 5 pages. Write 3 sentences. It's like planting seeds for your future self. The results? Night and day. Before, I was wasting 8 hours on my phone, barely earning enough to cover rent. After 6 months of the miracle morning, my screen time dropped to 2 hours. I landed 4 freelance clients, earning $4,000 in a single quarter. I ran a 5K, something I'd never thought possible, and lost 20 pounds. My mornings went from chaotic to purposeful, giving me clarity to tackle my day. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building something. The best part? Anyone can do this. You don't need money, a fancy planner, or a perfect life. You just need to start. Here's the catch. It's not about perfection. Some days I'd skip exercise or rush through journaling, but Elrod's philosophy is clear. Consistency beats intensity. Even a half-assed morning routine is better than none. So, pick one step, maybe silence or affirmations, and try it tomorrow. You're not too busy, too tired, or too far gone. You're one morning away from changing everything. If you're still with me, you're not just watching. You're ready to rewrite your story. I was once where you might be now, stuck, scrolling, feeling like life was slipping away. But the miracle morning didn't just give me a morning routine. It gave me a lifeline. Hal Elrod's words still echo in my head. You have to decide who you want to be and take action, or life will decide for you. I chose to act, and it's why I'm standing here. No longer the guy who wasted his 20s, but someone who's building a life worth living. Now it's your turn. Don't just watch this video and nod along. Do something. Your future self is begging you to start today. Let's get real. Change isn't easy. I've told you how I went from sleeping through my alarms to waking up at 5:30 a.m., from drowning in distractions to landing freelance gigs and running 5Ks. But none of that happened because I wished for it. It happened because I committed to showing up, even when I didn't feel like it. Elrod says, the moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you claim the power to change anything in your life. That's your first step. Own where you are right now. No excuses, no blaming your job, your ex, or your bank account. You're here because of choices you've made. And that's great news. Because if your choices got you here, new choices can get you somewhere else. So what's stopping you? Maybe it's fear. Fear of failing, looking stupid, or not being ready. I get it. When I started journaling, I felt like a fraud, scribbling goals I wasn't sure I could hit. When I pitched my first client, my hands were shaking, convinced they'd laugh me out of the room. But here's the secret. Action kills fear. Every time you show up, whether it's 5 minutes of meditation or writing 1 sentence in a journal, you're proving to yourself you're stronger than your doubts. Start small, but start now. Set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier tomorrow. Try one piece of the Savers method. Maybe just silence or exercise. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. You just need to take one step. And don't let perfectionism sabotage you. I tried the 5 a.m. routine for a year, and you know what? Some days, I slept in. Some days, I skipped visualization because I was rushed. But I didn't quit. Elrod's philosophy is clear. Progress, not perfection. If you miss a morning, don't throw in the towel. Get back to it the next day. Track your wins, no matter how small. In 6 months, I went from 0 savings to $3,000 in my account, from no clients to 4, from couch potato to running 5 miles. Those wins stacked up because I kept going, even when it wasn't Instagram worthy. Grab a notebook, write down one goal you want to hit this month, and break it into tiny steps. Want to read more? Start with 5 pages a day. Want to get fit? Walk for 10 minutes. Small actions compound into massive results. Here's the deal. You're not just changing your mornings, you're changing who you are. When I started the Miracle Morning, I wasn't just waking up earlier. I was becoming someone who valued their time, their mind, their potential. I stopped comparing myself to others on social media and started comparing myself to who I was yesterday. That shift made me unstoppable. Imagine who you could be in 6 months. Someone with more energy, more focus, maybe even more money in the bank. Picture yourself walking into a room, confident, knowing you're living on your terms. That's what's at stake. That's why you can't afford to keep hitting snooze on your life. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, try one piece of the miracle morning. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Write down one thing you're grateful for. Do 10 push-ups. Pick something and do it. Then come back here and tell me in the comments what you tried and how it felt. I read every single one, and I want to hear your story. Better yet, share this video with one friend who needs a wake-up call, someone who's stuck like I was. If you're ready to stop wishing and start building the life you deserve, hit that subscribe button and join this community. We're all in this together, rooting for you to become the person you know you can be. One last thing. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Elrod says, "The time to start is always now." I started on a random Tuesday in a messy apartment with no clue what I was doing. All I had was a decision, and that was enough. You've got everything you need right now to take the first step. So tell me, what's one thing you're going to do tomorrow to start owning your mornings? Drop it in the comments, and let's make it happen.